Most men believe they are in control of their lives. They believe their decisions are conscious. They believe their reactions are rational. They believe the man looking back at them in the mirror is the one truly making the choices. This is the great illusion of human existence. The truth is far more disturbing. The mind you think you control is only a tiny fragment of who you actually are. Beneath the surface of your awareness lies a vast, ancient ocean of programming, fears, desires, and conditioned responses that quietly dictate almost every move you make. This hidden ocean is called the subconscious. And until you learn to command it, you are not a man. You are a puppet wearing the costume of a man. The ancient Stoics understood this 2,000 years before modern psychology gave it a scientific name. They did not call it the subconscious. They called it the lower soul, the animal nature. The chaotic part of the mind that responds to the world before reason has a chance to speak. Marcus Aurelius wrote about it constantly. He knew that the man who fails to govern his inner world becomes a slave to it. He knew that every external action begins as an internal whisper, and if you do not listen to those whispers carefully, they will rule your life from the shadows. Today, I will show you the Stoic path to mastering this hidden force. I will show you how to take back control from the part of yourself that has been running the show in silence. This is not a course in motivation. This is a brutal philosophical operation on the deepest layers of who you are. If you complete this journey with me, you will never see yourself the same way again. Begin with this hard truth. Your conscious mind, the voice you hear when you think, is responsible for less than 5% of your daily behavior. The other 95% is generated by your subconscious. Every habit, every impulse, every emotional reaction, every craving, every fear, every assumption you make about the world is rising from a place you cannot directly see. You did not choose to be afraid of certain things. You were conditioned to be afraid. You did not choose your insecurities. They were installed in you, often before you could even speak. You did not choose most of your beliefs. You inherited them from parents, teachers, culture, religion, trauma, and the endless noise of the world around you. And then, throughout your life, you simply repeated those programs over and over until they became the operating system of your mind. You called this your personality. You called this your identity. You called this yourself. But it was never truly you. It was a collection of recorded patterns running on autopilot, while the real you remained asleep beneath the surface. This is the silent tragedy of the modern man. He believes he is free, but he is enslaved by software he did not write. The Stoics had a name for the part of you that observes all of this. They called it the hegemonikon, the ruling faculty, the inner commander. It is the part of you that can step back, witness the chaos of your mind, and consciously choose how to respond. The hegemonikon is the throne of your inner kingdom, and whoever sits on that throne controls the entire empire of your life. If your subconscious sits on the throne, your life becomes reactive. You jump from emotion to emotion. You drift from impulse to impulse. You wake up in the same patterns, repeat the same mistakes, attract the same kinds of people, and wonder why nothing ever truly changes. But if your conscious will, trained through Stoic discipline, sits on the throne, then your subconscious becomes your servant rather than your master. It still runs in the background. It still influences, but it no longer dictates. This is the war, and the war is fought every single day in silence inside your own skull. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Think about that for a moment. Every thought you allow to repeat in your mind is slowly staining the deeper layers of who you are. If your thoughts are full of fear, your subconscious becomes fearful. If your thoughts are full of resentment, your subconscious becomes bitter. If your thoughts are full of envy, your subconscious becomes hungry and unsatisfied no matter what you achieve. But the opposite is also true. If your thoughts are disciplined, your subconscious becomes ordered. If your thoughts are courageous, your subconscious becomes brave. If your thoughts are calm, your subconscious learns peace. This is the foundation of Stoic reprogramming. You are not trying to suppress the subconscious. You are not trying to fight it with willpower alone, because willpower always loses to programming in the long run. Instead, you are slowly, deliberately, and consciously feeding the deeper mind a new set of inputs until the old programs are starved out and replaced. This takes time, it takes patience, it takes the kind of discipline most men are not willing to develop, but it is the only true path to becoming a sovereign human being. The first principle of subconscious mastery is awareness. You cannot reprogram what you cannot see. Most men live their entire lives without ever observing their own mind. They are completely fused with their thoughts. When a thought appears, they believe it is true. When an emotion rises, they obey it. They have no separation between the witness and the witnessed. The Stoics taught that the first act of freedom is the act of observation. You must learn to sit quietly and watch your own mind as if it belongs to someone else. Watch the thoughts come and go. Watch the impulses rise. Notice the patterns that repeat. Notice the same fears, the same cravings, the same self-defeating loops, returning again and again like waves crashing against a shore. At first, this is uncomfortable. The subconscious does not like to be observed. When you begin watching it, it will throw distractions at you. It will tell you that you are wasting time. It will create urges to check your phone, to eat, to escape into entertainment. It does this because observation is the beginning of its loss of power. Stay with it. Sit in silence each day, even for 10 minutes, and simply watch the inner machinery operate. Do not judge what you see. Do not try to change it yet. Just observe. This single practice, repeated daily, will start to crack the chains that have bound you for years. The second principle is repetition. Your subconscious does not learn through logic. It learns through repetition. This is why a single decision to change your life rarely produces lasting change. The old programs were installed through years of repeated exposure, and they can only be uninstalled through the same process in reverse. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Every morning, he would mentally rehearse the kind of man he wanted to be. He would prepare himself for the difficulties of the day. He would remind himself of his principles. He would repeat the same philosophical truths over and over, not because he forgot them, but because repetition is how the deeper mind absorbs and integrates new identity. If you want to reprogram your subconscious, you must do the same. Choose the qualities you want to embody: calmness, discipline, courage, patience, focus. And then every single day in silence, repeat those qualities to yourself. Write them down, speak them, visualize yourself acting them out. Do this until the old identity weakens and the new one rises in its place. The third principle is environment. Your subconscious is constantly absorbing the world around you, even when you are not paying attention. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the music you listen to, the spaces you live in are all silently programming you. If you live in chaos, your subconscious becomes chaotic. If you surround yourself with weak men, your subconscious learns weakness. If you fill your eyes and ears with garbage, your inner world becomes garbage. The Stoics were extremely careful about who they allowed into their lives. Seneca warned that spending time with the wrong people corrupts the soul more effectively than any external misfortune. He understood that you become what you are repeatedly exposed to. There is no escape from this law. If you are serious about controlling your subconscious, you must control your environment, cut off the relationships that drain you, remove the digital noise that fragments your mind, build a space, both physical and mental, that mirrors the man you are trying to become. The subconscious will follow the environment. It always does. The fourth principle is emotional mastery. Every emotion you fully indulge becomes stronger in the subconscious. Every emotion you observe without obeying becomes weaker. This is the heart of Stoic emotional training. The Stoics did not believe in suppressing emotion. They believed in refusing to be ruled by it. When anger rises, do not act on it. Observe it. Let it burn through you without expressing itself in destructive behavior. Each time you do this, the anger loses some of its grip on your subconscious. Over time, it stops controlling you. When fear appears, do not run. Sit with it. Examine it. Ask where it came from. Ask whether it is rational. Most fears, when held in the light of awareness, dissolve like mist, but fears that are obeyed grow stronger with every repetition. When desire takes hold, do not chase it immediately. Wait. Let the desire pass through you. See whether it survives the test of time. Most desires are temporary impulses from the lower mind, and when ignored, they vanish completely. But desires that are obeyed without question carve deeper and deeper grooves into the subconscious until you become a slave to your own appetites. Emotional mastery is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming free. The fifth principle is the deliberate use of solitude. Your subconscious cannot reorganize itself in the middle of noise. It needs silence. It needs space. It needs time alone with the conscious mind in order to release what is buried and integrate what is new. This is why every great Stoic valued solitude. Marcus Aurelius retreated into his own mind even while ruling an empire. Seneca took long walks in silence. Epictetus taught that solitude is the natural climate of the philosopher. In the modern world, solitude is almost extinct. Most men are afraid of being alone with themselves because they are afraid of what they will find. But what you find in solitude is exactly what needs to be faced. Your buried fears, your hidden patterns, your unspoken truths, your true desires beneath the noise of culture. Embrace solitude as a daily ritual, even an hour each day, with no input, no distractions, no entertainment, just you and the silence. This is where the deepest reprogramming happens. This is where the subconscious finally has the space to surrender its old patterns and adopt new ones. The sixth principle is the use of philosophical reading. The Stoics knew that the mind becomes what it studies. If you fill your mind with shallow content, your inner world becomes shallow. If you fill your mind with the deepest thoughts of the wisest men in history, your inner world becomes deep, ordered, and strong. Marcus Aurelius read philosophy every day. Seneca wrote that reading is the food of the soul. Epictetus believed that constant exposure to philosophical truth slowly rewires the way you see the world. You must do the same. Read the Stoics, read the great thinkers, read slowly, repeatedly, and with reverence. Let the wisdom sink past your conscious mind and seep into the subconscious. Over time, your inner programming will shift. You will start thinking like the men you study. You will start reacting to the world the way they would. This is not imitation. This is inheritance. The seventh principle is action that contradicts the old self. The subconscious learns most powerfully through behavior. If you keep acting the same way, the old programs are reinforced. If you act differently, even when it feels uncomfortable, you begin to install new programs. This is why discomfort is sacred to the Stoic. Every time you do something that the old self would avoid, you weaken the old self and strengthen the new one. Cold showers, voluntary hunger, difficult conversations, hard work, when no one is watching, all of these actions reshape the inner world by force. You cannot think your way into a new identity. You must act your way into it. When the old programming screams that you should rest, train. When it screams that you should hide, speak. When it screams that you should consume, create. Each defiant action sends a message to the subconscious that you are no longer the man you used to be. Eventually, the inner machinery adapts. The new behavior becomes the new default. The new identity becomes real, not just imagined. This is the path: awareness, repetition, environment, emotional mastery, solitude, philosophical reading, defiant action. These 7 Stoic principles, applied consistently, will slowly dismantle the prison your subconscious has built around you and replace it with a fortress of conscious will. But understand this: the subconscious does not surrender easily. It will resist you. It will sabotage you. It will whisper that you cannot change, that you are not strong enough, that you are wasting your time. These whispers are the dying voice of the old self, and the loudest resistance always comes just before the final breakthrough. Do not listen to it. Keep going. The man who masters his subconscious mind has access to a level of personal power that ordinary people cannot even imagine. He acts with clarity. He responds rather than reacts. He chooses his identity rather than inheriting it. He moves through the world like a man walking through water, while the rest of humanity drowns in the currents of their own unexamined patterns. This is the highest form of freedom, not freedom from the world, but freedom from the prison inside your own skull. The ancient philosophers knew that the outer world is largely beyond our control, but the inner world is the one kingdom where we are meant to be sovereign. To surrender that kingdom to chaotic emotions, conditioned reactions, and inherited fears is the deepest betrayal of what it means to be a human being. So begin today, sit in silence, watch your mind, notice the patterns, choose new thoughts, build a new environment, practice emotional restraint, embrace solitude, read the great works, act in defiance of the old self. Do this not for a week, not for a month, do it for the rest of your life. Because this is not a strategy, this is the great work. This is the inner war that every serious man must eventually fight. And the moment you decide to fight it, something ancient awakens inside you, a part of yourself that has been waiting in silence, generation after generation, for you to finally take the throne that belongs to you. The subconscious is powerful, but it is not your enemy. It is a force waiting for direction. When you finally give it the conscious command of a disciplined mind, it transforms from a wild animal into a loyal soldier. It begins to work for you instead of against you. It begins to build your life rather than sabotage it. This is the Stoic way, the slow, deliberate, philosophical conquest of the deepest layers of yourself. If you are tired of being ruled by patterns you did not choose, if you are tired of reacting to a world that constantly manipulates the weakest parts of you, if you are ready to take the throne of your own mind and rule it with quiet, disciplined authority, then this is your moment. Subscribe to The Ancient Mind. Leave the word sovereign in the comments if you are taking command of your inner world starting today. Master your subconscious. Master your life. Stay stoic.